Every year, thousands of students go into debt thinking they're buying freedom for the future, but what they're actually building is a cage. And I get it, that might already piss you off. If it does, fair enough. Maybe this video isn't for you. But if you've ever felt deep down that the path you're on isn't really yours, then stick around. 2 years ago, I dropped out of university. I was sitting in lectures that felt completely pointless. My mates were stressing about grad programs, chasing internships and doing stuff they didn't even really care about. And I realized that the predetermined path leads to predetermined outcomes. And by definition, those outcomes can't be mine. I'll never forget this one day in a lecture. I must have looked like I wasn't paying attention, even though I actually was at the time, and the teacher picked me out in front of like 80 people. And I answered the question, I thought I did all right, but I just got like completely fucking shut down. And I remember thinking, why the hell am I here? This place isn't helping me grow. It's teaching me how to follow the rules. And following the rules was never going to help me build the life I wanted. The sad thing is, most people feel this way, but no one tells you there's another option. We're given such a clear roadmap if we stay in the system, but almost nothing if we leave. So when you think of dropouts, you probably think of like two extremes. Bill Gates, like a billionaire, complete outlier, or the person who seemingly threw their life away. But no one ever talks about the thousands of people that have done something different that are in between. The ones building something of their own. We're told our 20s are for figuring it out, but at the same time, we're shoved into a system that gives us no space to actually figure out who we are. So here's why I think a degree can kill your dream career and what to do instead. The first reason is it turns you into a commodity. Uni is like a tunnel. The walls are built out with family pressure, society's expectations, and beliefs kind of drilled into us since we were kids, and it feels safe, predictable, like there's supposed to be some light at the end, but everyone kind of comes out the same. That piece of paper doesn't make you stand out anymore. It makes you replaceable. You end up just being another commodity in a crowded market, competing for a job that you might not even want. And most grads I know aren't working in careers they're passionate about. They've just been convinced that it's good enough, but do you really want good enough for the next 40 years? Second reason is that it narrows your vision. A degree locks you into titles and respectable options. And I almost defaulted into journalism or finance, safe choices, right? But if I stayed, I never would have probably had the chance to chase photography, chase traveling and filmmaking and starting my own business. We're told we've still got time for our passions on the side, but if you really want to fully throw yourself into something, to actually see if it could work all the way and be your thing, you can't do that while trapped in a tunnel. And the third thing is, it does take away from those golden years, that your time and energy are the most valuable things you've got. And uni eats, 3 to 5 years of when you are your freest, when you've got the most energy, the most curiosity, the most like fire within you. When I left at 19, I decided to use those years differently. And yeah, I worked harder than ever since then. But it's been on things I actually care about. Building businesses, making content, traveling, trying to create some sort of community for people like me. And the thing is, I'm not preparing for a future that doesn't exist anymore. I'm trying to build one that actually does. And with that, the price of freedom is uncertainty. That's why most people don't chase it. Uni will sell you certainty, it will sell you a piece of paper, like a promise, but it does cost you your freedom. So if you want a dream career, for better or for worse, or in some way, you have to choose uncertainty first. So ask yourself, what's your version of going for it? Maybe it's posting your first video online, maybe it's trying to journal for 10 minutes a day, maybe it's saying no to something that you don't want. Clarity doesn't come first, action has to, then clarity comes after. So take the step, even if it's small, and especially if it's scary.